Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Save a Seat series here on Patreon, where we dig deeper with contributors and guests alike to find out some of the nitty gritty of what we're really talking about. And today, this week, we are focused on small businesses and how important it is to engage with small businesses, what it even means to be a small business, some of the joys and challenges of having a small business. We touched on that in the Spotify episode. Make sure to go listen to that if you haven't. But we are here on Patreon digging deeper with Linky Ugeh, who is a professional in the small business arena, to talk about some of the pitfalls of a small business, what thought leadership means and why it's important, and how small businesses can utilize some of the tools at their disposal. So thank you so much for joining us here on Patreon and supporting our mission of making opportunities reachable for everyone. But Linky, welcome back to the show. We're so happy to have you this week.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this.
We are too. Small businesses are so near and dear to our hearts. As we touched on in the Spotify episode, one of our favorite series that Ariana has championed is our Founder to Founder series, where she sits down with people who have created their own businesses out of nothing, out of a dream, just like Moore started and have made something amazing out of it. And we talked about how it's so amazing to connect with the person behind the thing, right? Like sometimes engaging with a business maybe doesn't mean as much until you find out the story behind it, why it was founded, who's running it, their dreams and their goals and their life. So we're really excited to just talk about some of those other peeks behind the curtain into small business, as it were. But for those of our guests that did not listen to the Spotify episode, which again, if you haven't, you should go do so. But let us know who you are and what you do in the realm of small business.
All right. So, my name is Linky, and I'm the operations director and editor of MBR, which focuses on industry experts um, really providing business insights. And I'm also the owner of Lumentis Digital, which focuses on digital marketing and brand visibility for small businesses.
Which is amazing. Such a big tool. Again, as we mentioned before, marketing can be a really invaluable tool for these businesses to let people know why they do what they do, what their story is, and why you should engage with them in the first place, right?
Yes. You know, I think one of the things I wanted to say in this segment is just small businesses are really the backbone of the economy. And I think we miss that because we use this term small. But
Yeah.
when you look at it, it is your local businesses, it is businesses that are serving just like populations and they're just not big box, right? We know who the founder is, we kind of have a sense of who they are. And when I think about that, I think that's why it's so important to serve them, and that's why it's so important for people to go to them, to really use their services and buy their products. um, and small businesses, yes, they do have a couple of challenges, um, but I think when you look a little further, like when you look a little deeper, there's just like gems, like they're just gems of businesses when I think about small businesses.
Yes, I completely agree. And I not to get, too into the weeds about it, but I think we're all feeling the separation between some of these big corporations and the wealth disparity in this country, and that makes it even more important to engage with local businesses, give back to your local economy, and allow people to have wealth that is continually going to these big stores. Like the more you shop at Amazon, the bigger it becomes, right? But if you engage with these local businesses, we're taking some of that power and that wealth back.
Yes.
I think
And I
that's
think,
really cool.
and yeah, you're very right about that. And I think we need to let small businesses know that they need to compete in that space, that their
Hmm.
products are just as good. They need to get out there so people know about them, because they're
Right.
looking for alternatives at the moment, right? Everybody's saying, okay, these big corporations, what do they do for me? And I know that, yes, the ease of prime is very hard to compete with. But
Right.
if I know you and I know that your product is just as good as the one I'm looking for, I'm definitely going to go to a local business, to a small business first before I go to a big box.
Yeah, I am too. It's just so meaningful. But you mentioned some of those challenges, and I'd love to pick your brain a little bit about some of those pitfalls that you do witness as a facilitator of small businesses and how you feel like these owners can avoid them.
So, one of the small business pitfalls I see more than anything else is one, a lack of brand visibility. Two is sometimes follow up when dealing with clients and like lead generation. Another one which I was going to talk about is just again, oh, I lost you there for a moment. It's just again, it's just again, this need to do some planning ahead of time. So small businesses often are birthed from a dream, birthed from an idea.
Right.
And someone will say, okay, I'm going to jump right in, I'm going to do this thing. And that's wonderful. But I think sometimes there's some steps that are missed. And just like having even just an overview of a business plan. I recently interviewed a wonderful woman, Kate Luzio of Luminary, and she was saying that you cannot actually overlook the importance of a business plan. It doesn't have to be a 50 pager, but just having an outline of where are you going? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And how are you going to get there? That's going
Right.
to help small businesses not just start, but actually be sustainable.
Yeah. Oh man. That's huge, right? Like it's one thing to get up off the ground. That's a huge hurdle, but then to keep it going for the weeks, the months, the years after,
Yeah, most
that feels like
definitely.
a real challenge. So you've mentioned this, and I would love to know, first of all, what is the idea of thought leadership? And then why is it so important for these small businesses?
So when we look at service-based businesses, especially, they are looking for clients in different segments, right? In different arenas. And so they need to position themselves as experts. And so what we do through MBR is we say, pen something, write something down about what you do, how you do it uniquely and differently, so that people can find you. Now, that's where thought leadership starts. It's literally saying, I'm an expert in my field. These are my thoughts about things that are happening in my field and the way in which people can then connect that to their business. Another way of seeing that is to say, do you have a place where people have spoken about your business? So, is there a publication that you've been featured in? Whether that's a spotlight, a mini highlight, anything like that. That
Mhm.
helps people build the credibility that they need to associate with your business. And
Right.
more often than not, small businesses don't have the name brand credibility right off the bat. And so this helps them to just build that up a little bit, helps them to position themselves so that when you're searching, people don't just find your website, they also find places that you've been featured.